Mr. President,
Senator for Florida.
President Trump is working to defend the freedom of our country. He was right to take swift and decisive action to kill one of the world's worst monsters. Soleimani was responsible for the death and maiming of thousands of Americans and tens of thousands worldwide. He ordered the attack on the United States Embassy in Iraq. He had plans to kill more Americans. There are some in this body that are trying to curtail the president's authority to defend Americans and defend American interests. This is not only foolish, it is foolhardy. Our president does and should have the authority to defend Americans, period. But it's an authority he doesn't take lightly. President Trump is right to use restraint and avoid further escalation unless Iran continues their provocations. The regime in Iran, a regime that chants death to America and wants to wipe Israel off the face of the map, needs to know that the United States will not tolerate acts of aggression against America or our allies. And the death of Soleimani was a strong warning. But they should also know that they have the opportunity to become productive members of the world community and bring peace and prosperity to their people. The choice is theirs. We all want peace. And the greatest deterrent to war is our economic and military strength. But Iran must make the choice for peace. It is a choice that is theirs alone. During this trying time, I want to pause and take a moment to remember the brave men and women of our armed forces. We often forget in Washington that the people carrying out the orders of our commander-in-chief are just that, people. They're not pieces on a chessboard. They are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. I remember my father talking about his experience in World War II, a conflict he certainly had no expectation to return from. He loved his service to our country, but never forgot those that we lost. I remember friends going to Vietnam and Korea. I've spent many hours sitting and talking with Gold Star parents. As governor, I watched Florida National Guard units leave for wars in the Middle East. The cost of war is great. As Ronald Reagan said, freedom is not bought cheaply. We should never forget that. I'm praying for our brave men and women in uniform, some of them Floridians, headed overseas to protect Americans and prevent an escalating conflict. And I'm praying for peace. These heroes put their lives in danger to defend our nation, and we cannot thank them enough for their sacrifice and their service. We must recognize the dangers and threats that our world faces today, and we must always stand together united to defend freedom and democracy. I yield the floor.